We're all familiar with the Vault Dweller and his grandchild, the Chosen One, two of the most influential characters in the entire series, but there are quite a few others in this family. Some are lesser known, while others are really easy to miss, and I guarantee you haven't heard of them all. So let's take a look at this family tree and see how far and wide it goes, similar to the Maxon family I covered in a previous video. First is the Vault Dweller. This is the earliest point we can go back in the family tree. While we can say with absolute certainty that his parents, grandparents, and so on all came from Vault 13, anything before the Great War is another matter entirely, one we can't possibly figure out. So this is where we begin. The Vault Dweller, as you know, was sent out into the wasteland to find a replacement water chip for the Vault's failing water supply. He travelled across the wasteland to places like Shady Sands, Vault 15, and Necropolis, making new friends like Dogmeat and Ian along the way. Of course, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Ian was killed by super mutants, and Dogmeat met a similar fate inside Mariposa. But through it all, the Vault Dweller succeeded. He found a working water chip inside Vault 12, beneath Necropolis, and saved Vault 13. But soon enough, the mutants became the new immediate threat, as it was only a matter of time until the mutants found their way to Vault 13. So with the aid of the Brotherhood of Steel, the Vault Dweller tracked down their leader, the Master, and killed him by detonating the nuclear weapon beneath the cathedral. This not only cut off the head of the operation, but also wiped out many of the Master's human followers. Next, the Vault Dweller turned his attention to the Mariposa military base, where the mutants were being made, and after working his way inside, he initiated the self-destruct sequence, destroying the super mutant commander and the vats of FEV. Without a doubt, he was a hero, and for his monumental efforts, Overseer Jacorin exiled him.
There's no way the people of the Vault can ever thank you enough for what you've done. You've saved all our lives. Who knows, maybe even saved the human race. Yes. That makes the rest of this even harder.
He feared that if others followed the Vault Dweller's example and left, the Vault experiment, meant to keep the inhabitants of Vault 13 isolated for 200 years, would end early. At the time, it had only been 84. So, the Vault Dweller was cast out, forced to find a new home. But he didn't stay alone for long. Many of the Vault's inhabitants rebelled. Jacorin was overthrown and sentenced to death, and those who wished to leave did so, effectively ending the experiment. These rebels eventually caught up to the Vault Dweller, and together they founded a new settlement, Royo. And this is where the family tree begins to grow. Life outside the Vault was dangerous, and the survivors had to work together just to get by. As they built a new home, the Vault Dweller fell in love with a woman named Pat. Over time, the ragtag group became a tribe, and Pat played a vital role in helping it grow and thrive. Royo became a safe and stable settlement. Scouts were sent back towards Vault 13 in search of any former dwellers who might have left, but as the years passed, the trail went cold, and so too did the expeditions. Pat eventually gave birth to two daughters, the future elder of Royo, whose name is never given, and her sister, Morlis. There's not much to say about Morlis. She grew up, met someone we never hear about, and had a son named Naga. Naga isn't remarkable either, except for one thing: he has a dog named Smoke. In Fallout 2, you can help Naga find this dog, which makes for a sweet little side quest. But if you take too long to find the Gek, Morlis ends up cooking Smoke to feed her starving family. And that's where this branch of the family ends. As far as we know, Naga never had children, but the Vault Dweller's other daughter, the Elder, gave way to a much more substantial lineage. The Elder was likely the Vault Dweller's and Pat's firstborn, given that she was next in line to lead the tribe. Her path to leadership wasn't easy. She trained for years, physically, intellectually, and spiritually. Eventually, she undertook the mystic rite of passage, consuming hallucinogenic plants grown in Hakunin's garden, the village shaman, then completed the Temple of Trials. During the trial, her pistol jammed, forcing her to rely on wit and determination. She talked her way past the guard, avoided unnecessary violence, and proved her worth. At the end of it all, she became the new elder, respected, wise, and fair, guiding Royo through the years ahead. She, like her mother before her, had 2 children. One of them remains unnamed, the other would go on to become a living legend. The first child, who isn't named, met someone else and sired a single child, a son called Fergus. Luckily there's no dog for them to eat this time, but Fergus is a real whiner, complaining about the well being broken, him being thirsty, and did I mention the well was broken? That's pretty much Fergus. On the other hand, we have the Elder's other child, the Chosen One, trained from birth to become the tribe's champion, and in the future, the village elder. After defeating the Temple of Trials, the Chosen One was sent on a quest, much like their grandfather, the Vault Dweller. Only instead of a water chip, the tribe needed a Gek, or Garden of Eden creation kit, a mystical device capable of transforming a patch of wasteland into a veritable oasis, something they desperately needed as the worst drought in Royo history was killing the village. Throughout the course of their quest, they saw many new places, like Klamath, Vault City, and the sacred Vault 13, where they met intelligent Deathclaws, and after repairing the Vault computer so the Deathclaws could speak to it, they were gifted a Gek by Gruther, the leader of the intelligent Deathclaws. But this wasn't the end of their troubles, as the Enclave, the direct continuation of the US government, had surfaced. They were the reason Vault 13 no longer had Vault Dwellers, and they were also responsible for abducting the citizens of Royo. Long story short, the Chosen One needed to get them back, and they did this by tracking down the Enclave.
You are out of uniform, soldier! Where is your power armor? Don't have any?
Going to Navarro, refueling the PMV Voldees, reaching Control Station Enclave, and rescuing their family and the Vault 13 residents who were taken at the start of the game. And then, finally killing Frank Horrigan and blowing up Control Station Enclave. A colossal feat that was only possible thanks to the people they encountered along the way. I'll go into much more detail in this video, so check that out if you want the full story. But thanks to the Chosen One, the entire wasteland was saved from the Enclave, and with the Gek, the people from Royo and Vault 13, now stranded hundreds of miles from their homes, decided to use the Gek to create a new community, New Royo. As of 2281, the city still stands, but that's all we know. And this could very well be the end of the Vault Dwellers' descendants. However, there is an ending in Fallout 2 that you can achieve by sleeping with Leslie or Angela Bishop of the Bishop crime family in New Reno.
Not long after the destruction of the Enclave, the Bishop family of New Reno was blessed with a child. This child seemed to have little in common with the Bishops, preferring instead to spend his days exploring the wastes. When he turned 13, he seized control of the Bishop family and led them to victory over the remaining New Reno families. He died quietly in his sleep at the age of 73, never having known his real father.
It's heavily implied that the Bishop child is the Chosen One's child. While he never knew his own father, the Bishop child had a child of his own with an unknown woman. That child is known only as Mr. Bishop's daughter. Everything we know about her comes from Bruce Isaac in Fallout New Vegas, who can be found hiding inside a room at the Dino Delight Motel. Bruce used to be a singer at the Shark Club, the Bishop's casino in New Reno. Apparently, Mr. Bishop didn't pay him for his talent, so Bruce stole some bottle caps and ran away, but not before having sex with Mr. Bishop's daughter, implying that the Chosen One having a child is a part of Fallout 2's canon ending. And this is the last known connection in the Vault Dwellers family tree. But given time, Mr. Bishop's daughter might have a child of her own, maybe with Bruce Isaac, and that child could appear in a future game or season of the TV show. Until then, it seems as though Mr. Bishop's daughter is the 5th and final generation. But let's not forget, New Royo still exists, and I have a feeling the show may touch on its location. And if it does, then I imagine we'll be finding out about a few more members of this very talented family.